Good morning, guys. So now the meeting is getting YouTube live stream in the YouTube. If anybody would like to watch it in YouTube, you can do. Okay. So before getting started, are there anyone who joined newly today? Actually, yesterday was the last demo class, but some of the students requested to continue for one more demo class. Then we have decided to continue, guys. Okay. I hope no new guys. Are there anyone who joined newly today? Okay, I don't think there are no new guys. Okay, guys, yeah. Let's quickly look at what we have learned in the yesterday class. Yesterday class, we started looking at what is how to do the synchronization, and then what is an object lock, what is a class lock. So let me take an example and ask you guys the question. And those who are watching in YouTube, if you have any questions, please put your questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer those questions. Okay. Now let us take what is the date today? 2/28. Okay. Now let me take that there is a class called A, and inside A I have a M1 method something, and I have M2 method and something, and then I have M3 method. Okay. Now there for this class A there are two objects. Let me minimize this, and then A equal to new A B equal to new B. Now what I'm doing is T1 thread is executing M1 method on A object. While this is in progress, can T2 thread execute M2 method on the same object? Can you guys tell me?
Yes, if it is not, if it methods are not sync.
Yes, it can execute. Correct. The reason for
Yes,
that here, these methods are not synchronized methods. Correct. So immediately you
yes,
need to ask the question to the interviewer saying that M1 and M2 methods are synchronized or not. If it is not synchronized, there is no lock mechanism. Correct.
yes.
Yeah. So that now let us take that these methods are synchronized. Okay. Yeah. So now let me ask you the question again. T1 thread is executing M1 synchronized method on object A. Whenever it is executing synchronized method on object A, what happens?
It is getting
It
lock of
acquire lock on object.
object.
That means who is getting a lock? T1 will acquire lock on method or object.
Object.
And what is
Object.
the object in this scenario? A.
A.
Okay. Now, while this is in progress, can T2 thread execute M2 method on the same object?
No.
No, because it is
No.
also synchronized.
Yeah. Can T3 thread execute M3 method on A object?
No.
Look at it carefully and answer.
Yes, it is a instance method. It will execute.
Yeah. Did I write the synchronized keyword for M3 method?
No.
So
No.
can T3 execute M3 method on the same object? Yes, because
Yes.
there is no lock, right?
Yeah.
When
Yes.
there is a synchronized keyword only, you need to worry. Now, can T4 thread execute M1 method on B object?
Yes.
Yes.
It is
Why?
different object.
It is a different object.
Yeah. When it is executing different object, what happens? What will the T2 T4 will do?
Acquire lock on B objects.
So T4 thread will acquire lock on B object, correct? So that means now whenever there is a synchronized keyword, the lock mechanism comes into picture. Now in all these examples, what kind of a lock we are acquiring?
Object lock.
Okay.
Object lock.
Why we are calling it as a object lock? Because the methods are
Threads are working on same object.
no. Because the methods are instance method. How can you access an instance method using an object? Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since you are accessing, see, instance method, you can call this instance method using an object. Hence, the log that is acquiring is called as an object log, right? So in the interview, they'll be confusing you like this. I mean, you need to carefully look at whether it's a synchronized method or whether it's the same object or not. And some people will say that when T1 thread is executing M1 synchronized method on A object, it will acquire the lock. And people think that lock will acquire be on the M1 method. Is it a method or a object? How can I prove that the lock is not on a method and it's an object? I repeat my question. We are saying that lock is acquiring on an object, but how can I prove it is not on method?
If methods are instances, then we can show
So for example, if the lock is on method, T1 thread is acquiring a lock on M1 method, can T2 thread is working on a different method? Can it execute or not? For suppose, if we are assuming that the lock is on a method, M1 and M2 are different methods or same methods?
different methods.
So that means if T1 thread is executing M1 method, it will, for suppose that lock will not be on a method. For example, if you are thinking that lock is on a method at any point of time, if that means T1 thread acquired the lock on M1 method. If any other thread tries to access M1, it should not. But any other thread can execute M2?
Yes.
Yes. But is it executing?
No.
No. That means, can I say that now the lock is not on a method now? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. If it is a lock on a method, then T2 should execute M2. But what is happening when T1 thread is executing M1 synchronized method on A object, the lock is acquired on a object. On the same object, you cannot call any other synchronized method. It doesn't matter, M2, M3, whatever it is. You cannot, when there is a lock, when a particular thread is acquiring a lock on one object, any other thread cannot execute any other synchronized method on the same object. But can you execute non-synchronized method?
Yes, we can use it.
Yes, because that is what in the third one, the T3, right? So any questions on this? This is what we have discussed yesterday, right? So when it comes to the interview, this is how they will ask the questions. Did you guys ever face this kind of question in any of the interview? Anyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Now, were you able to answer earlier?
Yeah, but at that time I'm a little bit confused.
Okay, but now
Now
it's clear, right?
yes.
Yeah. So because this is very, very important from the product-based company perspective. Okay. So the lock is on an object, not on a method. Done. Now this entire thing is called as object lock, correct? Object lock. Now, in the object lock, what are you doing? See, for example, if T1 thread is executing M1 method, it is acquiring a lock. And any other thread cannot execute any other synchronized method. With this, what are you achieving? By providing this kind of when one thread is executing one synchronized method, other thread has to wait. With this one, what do you achieve? The same, go back to the
data consistent results.
yes, data consistency, correct? That means your output will be accurate, correct? That means this is called as thread safe. Thread safe. That means, have you heard a term called thread safe?
Yes.
Yeah. So in order to, if there is no lock mechanism, threads will execute it. That is not a thread safe. So in order to achieve thread safe, what is the one mechanism? Object lock. So in the object lock, what kind of data or what kind of methods you are making thread safe?
All synchronized.
Instance one.
Is it synchronized methods or instance methods? Synchronized means, see, thread safe object lock means already, see, the lock mechanism comes into picture when there is a synchronized keyword itself. But what kind of methods you are making thread safe?
Instance methods.
Instance method,
Instance
correct?
methods.
So that means in the object lock, what do? You will make instance data thread safe, correct? So whatever the instance method that you are using a synchronized keyword, what that happens? Only one thread can execute these methods on the particular object only once, correct? So by doing that, you are making an instance data thread safe. That means what is the objective or what is the use of using an object lock? Using an object lock, you will make the instance data thread safe. Okay. Now let's look at same code. Let me copy this into a separate package and see what is a class log. So I'm copying all these examples. Okay. Now I'll copy. Let me create a package. com dot Ashok IT dot class log. Okay. Let me paste this all this file. Okay. Now done. Now here in this one, in this HDFC Bank, what did we do? This withdraw and deposit are synchronized instance method. But can I make this as a method as static? Yes. Now, whenever I'm making it as a static, do I need a constructor and do I need to create an object to call these methods?
No.
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 Let's do this. Let me make this variable also static. Let's remove this. You don't need this one, correct? Now, so what is the change I'm doing is, so instance, if your methods are instance, then the log that you are acquiring is called as object log, and using the object log, you are making the instance method or instance data of a class into a thread safe. Now, what if there may be a possibility that the class can have a static methods, and see if there is no, whether it's a static or non-static, if the synchronized method is not, if the synchronized keyword is not there, can you achieve a lock?
No.
No. So that means synchronized keyword should be there whenever you want to achieve a lock so far. Now, but the method can be a static or non-static. Now, what I'm trying to show you guys is, what if the methods are static? Then what kind of a lock will acquire? Now let's go to
Class
the,
level log.
yeah, yes. Now let's go to ATM thread. Do you need an object to call the static method?
No. Class name
No.
is enough.
To the class name.
Yeah. So I can remove this, correct? Now, can I say HDFC Bank dot class log, correct? Now let's go to the, sorry, this is a different class. This is the package of synchronization. Don't touch this. Let's go to the package of this one here. Let's remove this and let's put the name as HDFC Bank. Done. Now let's go to Google Pay. In Google Pay also, do you need an object?
Not required.
Not. Done. Now let's go to the main class. So now, so when you are using a static method, you don't need an object to say, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you need to pass an object? No. Now, let's see how does it will work. Now, before that, now let's look at now.
The object,
Sorry,
the ATM also tell. Oh, okay.
it's a thread, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's look at a class log. Now, in this class log, let me write the same code here. Class A static void M1. And let's make it as synchronized. Let's synchronize static M2. Two methods are there. Now, if T1 thread is working on A.M1, do you need an object in order to call A.M1?
No, we can call it by the
Then,
class.
so then what happens is this, whenever T1 thread is executing a static synchronized method on a class reference, then it will acquire the lock on this reference, this class. On this class reference, you cannot call any other thread. So that is nothing but a class lock. Now let's look at here. Debug as Java application. Now let's deep. So now let's put a breakpoint in this methods. ATM dot start method, run method, Google Pay, run method. Okay. Now let's go to main method. Now let's start. ATM.start. Can I say one thread is created? Yes. Google Pay, another thread is created. Now, using ATM.start, if you call this, what are you doing? Which method you are executing?
Withdraw method.
HDFC Bank withdraw method, which is static
Withdraw
method, correct? So now,
Yes.
in this scenario, do you have an object of HDFC Bank anywhere?
No.
No.
Anywhere have we created HDFC Bank object? No, right?
No.
Now let's go to the deposit method also and see. Now let's see when one thread is executing. Now, which thread you want me to execute?
Yeah. ATM.
ATM. Now that means if I click further F6, can I say I will go to the withdraw method of HDFC Bank? Yes. Now do you see
Yes.
owns a lock, correct? But after that, what do you see? There is a symbol called class, correct? That means what now ATM thread has acquired what kind of a lock? Class lock, because this is a static method. Now you can see that symbol here. Now, when one thread is now, both the threads are accessing same class, different synchronized method or not? See, ATM thread
Yes.
and Google Pay thread. So now when ATM thread is executing the withdraw method, it has acquired a class lock. On what class reference? HDFC Bank, correct? Now on the same class, can you execute any other synchronized method?
No.
Any other thread? No. Let's see here. If I further execute it, now can I say the Google Pay thread should go into a wait mode? It should not execute, correct? Now see, is it executing? No, the Google Pay thread is, can I say that Google Pay thread is waiting for the ATM thread to release the lock on this HDFC Bank class reference? Agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Now let's complete this. Now, if I click further F8 for F6, now can I say now ATM thread will release the lock on this class reference?
Yes.
Now, which was the thread that is waiting for to acquire the lock on this class reference? Google Pay thread, right?
Google Pay.
Immediately, now look at here, Google Pay thread is not into a stepping mode. That means it is not executing. When I click on F8 now, the immediately Google Pay thread will come back to the execution, because when I click on F8 currently, the ATM thread will release the lock and Google Pay thread was waiting for the lock to acquire. So it will come back to the execution. So look at here. Did the Google Pay thread started executing the deposit method? Yes.
Yes.
Right. So now that means here what kind of data or what kind of methods you are making a thread safe?
Static
Static
method.
methods.
Static variables and static methods, you will make a thread safe using a class lock. That means using an object lock, you will make the instance data thread safe. Using a class lock, you will make the class data thread safe or static data. Now they may ask you the question like this. Now there is a class A. Now I have synchronized M1, synchronized M2, M3. Okay, I have static synchronized M4, static M5. That means in one class, I have these kind of methods. Okay. Any questions so far? Now I have a class A, I have an object A, new A. Okay. Now T1 thread is executing A.M1 method. Okay. Now what happens?
So first it is checking M1 is synchronized or not.
Now look at the example. I have given everything.
Object lock.
Object lock.
On what object?
Yeah.
A class.
Object lock on small a, correct? That means who is acquiring? Thread 1, correct? Thread 1 is T1 is acquiring the object lock on A, correct? Now, while it is not yet completed, it is in progress. Can T2 execute M3 method on A object?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
It's not synchronized.
It's not synchronized.
Yeah,
It is not
can
a synchronized.
execute because M3 is not synchronized. Okay, now can T3 thread execute M4 method on a reference?
Yes.
Yes, it is
Yes. Then what lock it will acquire?
class level lock.
Class lock. Correct. Now, can T4 thread execute M2 method on small a? The above threads have not completed their work. Can T4 execute M2 on the same object?
No.
No, sir.
No.
No, because T1 thread is executing
T1
M1
is,
lock, it has acquired a lock on object lock. So T4 thread is also working on same object, but this lock is not yet released. So it cannot execute, correct? Yes or
Yes.
no? Now, can T5 thread execute M1 method on B object?
Yeah,
T5
it is
thread.
different object, so
It's
it is
different
executable.
objects.
So that means it can execute. And what happens here?
So
Will acquire a lock.
T5 will
B
acquire
objects.
lock on B.
Object lock on B. Now, can T6 thread execute M5 method on A reference?
Yes. Sir.
Why? There is a class lock here, right?
Yes.
When T3 executing
yes.
M4, can this execute T5 execute M5? Look at carefully.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Why?
No, sir. No, sir.
Because there's a static method, no?
That is already acquired a lock. B3
No, here did I write the synchronized keyword here? Whoever is not speaking, please go on mute. There is a background noise. Yeah. So M5 is a M5 synchronized method?
No, sir.
No. So that means can T6 execute M5 even though there is a class lock? Yes. Correct.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, for example, let us write one more static. That is the reason I asked you to look at carefully. Synchronized M6. Now, can T7 execute M6 on A reference?
No, it is a static and synchronized method.
So it
And
cannot,
T3
because
acquire lock on class.
yeah, T7 will wait for the T4, T3 to release the lock, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, these are all the overall questions on object lock versus class lock. No one can ask more questions than this in this concept. Any questions?
Sir, can we apply synchronization on variables?
No. It is only for methods.
If you
That's the
are
reason
having
you can
reference-
write. Yeah.
Reference variable if you are having any class.
Sir?
That's where you can go to the atomic variables. Yeah, go ahead. There was a question. Yeah.
Sir, object lock clear, sir. But class lock, when the release the class lock, sir, actually?
Whenever the
method-
static method is completed.
Oh, after completion of that method. Okay.
Yes.
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
So those who are watching in YouTube, do you have any questions? If you have a question, please put your question in the comment box. So any questions in the one? Is it clear? Class lock, object lock, you should never confuse, guys. Look at carefully whether the synchronized keyword is there or not. If the synchronized keyword is not there, any thread can execute any method directly. There is no, you don't, because the lock mechanism comes into picture only when there is a synchronized keyword, right? If there is no synchronized keyword, any thread can execute any method at any time. But if there is a synchronized keyword, then you need to look at, is there a lock, or is it a class lock, or is it an object lock? Static method or instance method, etc. And then answer. Yeah, KK Rao. Was there a question?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. Good.
Yeah. So, and see, now the same example will take now. Next topic that we are going to learn is difference between sleep and wait. See, Wait. So can someone tell me what are the differences between sleep method and wait method?
Sleep method is particular whatever time we may specify, it will be in sleeping mode.
Okay.
We want to perform any operation.
Okay.
So wait method is it will release the lock of the object.
So
Practically,
what is meant
I
by
did not see, but
yeah
we had read wait method will release the lock like that.
yeah I mean okay. So that means that's generally the differences that we see is sleep method will not release will release the lock, will not release the lock, but wait method will release the lock. Correct. And sleep method is present in the thread class, and wait method is present in the object class. And wait method should be called within the synchronized context. Sleep method can be called within or without synchronized context. Right? These are the differences that you have already heard somewhere, correct? But practically, you might not have seen. Is that statement right?
Yes.
Yeah. Others?
Sir, actually, sleep method will be a pause for some time to current execution of the thread.
Yeah. Wait also does the same thing. But have you tried that with a practical example? That is what I'm asking.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Don't worry. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to look at the differences between a sleep method and wait method. So I'm not, because some of the people who enrolled for the course and did not join today. So that's the reason I'm not taking for much time today. And based on some students' request, I have extended the demo class for today also. And if you wanted to enroll, please do it by today end of the day. And from tomorrow, the link is going to change. And whoever is enrolled for this course, I hope you guys have got a call from the Ashok IT.
Yes.
And do they tell you how to join the everyday class?
Yes, sir.
And did they tell you how to access the videos also?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. At any point of time, if you have any questions, you can put that question in the WhatsApp group. And are you guys are all part of this 05 multi-threading group? Whoever has enrolled?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Are there anyone who was not part? I mean, in the class, but not, I mean, enrolled for the course, but not part of this 05 Java multi-threading? Okay. So if you guys have not done the enrollment, and if you wish to enroll, please do so. And from tomorrow, the only enrolled candidates will have the class. And if anybody wants to enroll it, you can take a screenshot of this one. The fee for this course is 2,500 and pay on this account or Google Pay number and send an email to this email ID with a screenshot with name and then WhatsApp number. And you will be considered as enrolled. Yes. And tomorrow I'll be talking about a sleep method. I will practically show you that wait method will release the lock, sleep method will not release the lock, etc. I will tell you all of those. And then we'll see once, whenever wait method is releasing the lock, how does the control will come back. That is called inter-thread communication. That means the next topics would be differences between sleep and wait. What is inter-thread communication? Why the wait notify all method in the object class, and post that will go for the executor framework.
Sir, notes are not available on portal.
No, I haven't shared it. I will share it because yesterday only the people have done the enrollment, right? I'm just waiting for everyone to enroll and then I will share it, or else I have to share multiple times. Okay. By tomorrow, I will be sharing the notes and then the code that we have written so far. Okay.
Sir, that collection notes also recently joined in the.
Yes. I will be sure. Today is the last day for collections. So I'll be sharing the entire notes, code, interview questions in a zip folder by end of today. Okay. And
Okay,
there are some students who asked for collections. Have you got the what you call demo videos?
Yes, sir. Demo videos and we got the access.
Okay, fine. So if you would like to enroll for the collections, just let me know, guys. You will get a call from the Ashok IT. And from next next Wednesday, like March 6th, I'm starting the data structure topics in the morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. If you are interested, you can join the demo classes for that too.
We are having some other class, GRTP.
Okay, fine. Yeah, fine. I mean, you can watch, I mean, if you are interested, you can, but you can watch the recordings too. But you can, I mean, if you wish to join later point of time, that is also fine.
So when will be the next coming batch, sir? The collections and
Maybe in the month of May.
May.
Yeah. By the April end, I will be completing the data structures and I will start in May. Or else, what I can do is after this completion of threads, I may take 15 days gap and then I may start collections separately.
Okay.
I will let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, if
So if
possible, can you?
Yeah,
Hello?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
If possible, can you explain each concept in real-time example?
Which concept?
Means anything. If you are doing any if point to point, you're explaining, right? Some synchronization and real-time, how you are using, where
Yeah,
we are
that is
using.
see, real time in the bank, most of the time you use, see, you don't use directly synchronized keyword, but you are using a vectors or you are using copy and write array list. Internally vector, what happens? Vector is synchronized only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't write a synchronized blocks of code and synchronized thing, but you will use a vector. If you are, or you will be using a concurrent hash map, or you are using a copy and write array list. So what does it mean? What is the difference between array list and copy and write array list? Internally, these methods are synchronized, correct? So that is why should I use vector? Why not array list? In multi-threading environment, if you are using array list is not synchronized. Multiple thread can execute on a same object multiple times, which will give you the inconsistent output, correct?
Yeah.
But if you are in a multi-threading environment, if they are asking you to, I want to create a multi-threading environment, I want to use, what can I use a data structure? What data structure I can use? You can say that vector, because it's a multi-threaded. If you are using one object and using one object, if multiple threads are trying to insert, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a performance or do you prefer a consistent output?
Consistent out.
Then what is the thing you need to use? Is it a vector or array list?
Vector.
Because internally, if you look at the source code of vector, all the methods of vector are synchronized methods. So when you are having a method as synchronized, only one thread can work at a time, like that. And when it comes to executive framework, I'll tell you, we'll take one example of salary calculation, and then I can tell you one example of LIC. So many LIC is having so many lakhs of people, correct? How do they process? How can you write that problem? Or if you are a working professional, you tell me what is the scenario, how your project works, what is your project. Then I can tell you where you can, or where and how you can implement execute a framework in your project. And you can write the code for that, like the way I will give you the skeleton, and then you can implement your code. And then in the interview, they will ask you, have you anywhere implemented execute a framework? Then you can answer that question. Because you people are working in a different organization, in a different project. I may not be knowing all of this, correct? So I will take one example and I will write the example in such a way that that skeleton you can use. Okay. And only the functionality you can change according to your project. I'll take
I'm not
one.
working, sir.
Okay, fine. Even if you're not working, there are some other people who are working, right? They'll give you the examples and you can take that examples and you can try.
Okay.
And I can see by default, I'll be explaining one salary calculation, one LIC example. But if you're not comfortable with that, then I can, some other can speak out on what is the project that they are working. And if they are telling me that this is the project, I may try to find out a use case where we can implement a executive framework, and then we can try implementing it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so I'll be giving you that skeleton. That skeleton will be working for any executive framework, and only in some method you need to write your logic. Okay.
Okay.
Sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, object lab comes under thread itself, sir. Then class lab comes what, sir?
Any lock you are using any lock mechanism, you are making a thread safe. Thread safe means multiple threads cannot work at a time. Only one thread can work at a time, because in order to get the inconsistent output, whether it's a object lock or a class lock, you are making a thread safe only. But using a object lock, what kind of data you are making thread safe? Instance method or instance variables. Now, using a class lock, what kind of data you are making thread safe? Static methods and static variables.
Okay, sir.
Hope you. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
So we have some synchronized block also.
Yes, I did not explain. I will explain. So synchronized method means, see, inside a method, you will write a initialization parameters, correct? String s equal to null or employee e equal to null. Then later you will initialize it, correct?
Yes.
So do you actually need to synchronize that system.out.println or logger statement and initialization parameters?
No.
May not be, correct?
Yes.
If you look at in the singleton design pattern we have. So in the singleton design pattern, you will write a synchronized method, but later you will go for a double checked locking, correct? Because if you are making the method as a synchronized, multiple thread cannot execute the method. But inside a method, the method can have 1,000 lines. Do you need all those 1,000 lines to be synchronized?
No.
No,
Not
because
necessary.
for example, if you take system.out.println logger.info, do you need a synchronization for these statements?
No. No.
No, that means that's where we go for a synchronized block. So that means inside a method, you may have 1,000 lines of code, but only 10 lines of code. Where do you feel that you need to multiple threads cannot execute? That's where instead of going for a synchronized method, we'll go for a synchronized block, which I am going to explain in upcoming classes after completion of differences between sleep and wait. All of those are completed, then I will explain.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if no question, then that's all, guys. So from tomorrow, the demo classes will not be there, guys. And if anybody is interested, please do enroll. Okay. Kanakarao and Kekarao, are you the two different people or same?
Sir, same only, sir. Actually, in my hostel, internet connection is not stable. That's why I'm hearing from a mobile and watching from the laptop.
Okay. I think only one device is allowed. Just check. For demo classes, you can, but once the demo classes are completed, you can join only with one device.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't manage with the mobile. That's why I'm taking.
Yeah, you can join through laptop itself directly.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Yeah. You see, anyways, you're joining with laptop, right? You can the same headset that you are using for mobile, you can use it for laptop.
No, the internet Wi-Fi is not stable, so that's why in between will be interruption.
Okay. But make sure that you connect with your mobile internet.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Right. So, because only one device is allowed, just make sure that you are using only one device. Else your access will be revoked.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all.